So you're feeling stuck. That's okay. We've all been there. Today we're going to talk about some tips to help you get unstuck and find more ideas. Feeling stuck is a very fair part of the creative process. And I know this might be hard to hear right now, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. You will come up with more ideas. But today I'm going to be sharing some suggestions on how to get more ideas and how to find those ideas when you're feeling stuck. Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sara Lubratt. If you go on to enjoy today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a big thumbs up because that really supports my channel by telling the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and then somebody else might too. Also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And now without further ado, let's get into some of these suggestions. My first piece of advice is to try consuming other pieces of creation. That means reading books, that means watching TV shows and movies, that means playing games like board games, video games, whatever, playing music, and then also being aware of the normal genres that you watch, you listen to, you read, and then watching, listening, and reading outside of those genres. If you're not normally a documentary person, maybe you watch a documentary. Maybe try listening to music in another language. Maybe if you normally read fiction, try reading a nonfiction book. By consuming pieces of art that other people have made and also branching outside of what you're normally comfortable with is a great way to spark new ideas. My next suggestion, if you are capable of doing this, is going for a drive. This is something that actually a lot of CEOs do, where they are doing something else, aka the driving, and maybe not even listening to music, but they're just letting themselves think and letting their brain wander and seeing just what that comes up with. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, came up with the idea for the name when she was driving. This next tip is one of my favorites. Get outside. Go for a walk. Go for a hike. Go to a park, or if you live in a city, go walk through the city. This is kind of in the same vein of going for a drive, but you are doing something else. You are outside, you're breathing fresh air, there's noises around you, there's people walking by, maybe there's wildlife, there's wind, there's clouds, there's grass, maybe, whatever. There are things that are like tickling the back of your brain that want to give you ideas. There's plenty of things outside in whatever environment you are in that might spark some new ideas. If you've gone for a walk and that didn't do much for you, and you have a park nearby, maybe you go sit at a park and you don't look at your phone. There's something very important to idea creation in being present and being fully aware of where your thoughts are going, what your mind is doing, what's around you, and then kind of running with any of those ideas. So sitting in a park or somewhere that's outside without your phone is a good way to be present in the moment. This suggestion kind of fits in with going for a walk, but go work out. Do something that gets your blood pumping, your endorphins rushing, because not only is it good for you, but it's also going to help you come up with some more ideas, or at least put you in a more positive mindset that if something comes to you, you're not necessarily going to overthink it. Which reminds me, write every single idea that you have down. Write it down. It doesn't matter if you think it's good. It doesn't matter if you think it's bad. A bad idea can absolutely transform into a good idea after you've thought about it long enough. But the worst feeling is to have an idea and not write it down, and then go several days, weeks, months, years into the future, and then remember that thought, but not being able to remember it in its entirety, or being like, oh, I remember that there was this thing, but I don't remember what it was, and then not having that piece of information. If you have an idea, write it down. You never know what it's going to blossom into after it has been written down, because your brain can still keep working on it, and then you can always write down whatever your brain comes up with down next to that idea in the future. But write your ideas down. The inventions of smartphones are amazing, but you can always text yourself an idea. You can write down your idea in a notes document. You can email it to yourself. You can make yourself a voice note. You can make yourself a little video clip of you saying it out loud. You can also write ideas down in a notebook if that's what works for you. That's what I do when I'm hiking, is I keep a little notebook with me. That way I can try and stay off my phone as much as possible. But write your ideas down, and preferably in one place where you can go back and scroll through, flip through, look through, whatever it is, where all of your ideas remain. The next tip is to go do something you've never done before. Put yourself in situations to experience new things. Have you ever taken a cooking class, or a certain workout class, or maybe a dance class, or a backpacking class, or a backcountry class? Put yourself in a situation to get yourself a little bit uncomfortable. And let me tell you, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's gonna help stretch your brain. And stretching your brain is gonna help give you new ideas. In kind of that same vein, if you are trying to come up with a story or some kind of creative idea, attend a class, whether that's in person or online or here on YouTube. I love watching masterclasses. That is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I want to learn something new, whenever I just feel like I've kind of been stagnant and I need to learn something, I like watching masterclasses. If you're interested in trying Masterclass, I have a link down in my description below if you want to check it out. But there are also plenty of other platforms that you can learn things on. One of my favorite creative writing classes that I've ever taken was here on YouTube, and it was Brandon Sanderson's creative writing lecture series, and it blew my mind. The next tip is one that I learned in one of my in-person creative writing classes back in college. I was studying abroad, and one of the things that we were encouraged to do for one of our writing exercises was to go to some public place like a restaurant or a cafe or a bar and intentionally overhear snippets of conversation. And basically what this specific writing exercise was listen to somebody else for maybe 2 or 3 exchanges and write that down, and then try to figure out how the rest of the conversation went before that. What led them up to that point? Another fun exercise from that same class was, as you're walking down the street, choose somebody that you're passing and try and figure out what their secret is. Like, what are they hiding from someone in their life? Or what are they most afraid of? That was kind of a weird experience to have to look at somebody on the street and have to figure out what they're hiding, but it was a really fun experiment in creativity. My next suggestion is to go on a platform like Pinterest and start scrolling through random pins and making boards for groupings of ideas that you might have. This could go in any kind of direction, but you might want to save a quote here, a piece of landscape here, a piece of sci-fi art here, a piece of architecture, a piece of clothing, and literally any one of those things could eventually turn into an idea. If you are a writer, or realistically any other kind of creative, you can do something like a prompt. There are lots of writing prompt websites. Pinterest is one of them, but there are also a lot of other places that you can find writing prompts, and there's a whole variety. I've seen writing prompts that are picture-based, where you see a picture and then you write for 15 minutes about that picture and whatever that picture sparks for you. There's one, and I don't remember what website it's on, but it's a Dirty Dozen writing prompt where you have 12 words that you then have to put into a story. And again, these writing prompts work really well when you're timing yourself, so it's a brief exercise in creativity. If you are looking for new ideas, you can also try different forms of creativity. If you're a writer, maybe you want to try painting. If you're a painter, maybe you want to try poetry. If you're a poet, maybe you want to try sculpting or drawing, or just something else that's creative and a creative expression, and exploring that might alleviate some of that pressure on yourself to have to be creative, because creativity comes in many forms. My next suggestion is to put away your phone and let yourself daydream. In today's society, it is very go. We are always on our phones. We're always doing something else. We very rarely have the opportunity to sit with ourselves and be present in the moment. I know I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but it's true. Let yourself daydream, let your mind wander, and just see where it goes. And then remember to write down your ideas. I want to close out this video with a friendly reminder that creativity is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it will get. And then hopefully the more ideas you'll have. There is a whole world of new ideas out there. You're not done. You're gonna have another one. I hope you found this video encouraging. Remember that I believe in you and you got this. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm currently posting 2 videos a week on Mondays and Thursdays, so make sure you follow for more. And I wish you guys happy creativity. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.